Hello everybody, it's me again. I'm in Venice, Italy. Hurrah, lots of canals everywhere, but the city is a maze. There's streets that are alleyways and alleyways that are like turn sideways and sort of squeeze through, and there's rats everywhere. Rats. Like giant mice. And on top of all that, I had trouble with my hotel arrangements because I made a reservation at a hotel for 2 nights at the hotel reservation place at the train station. They called them, they said, okay, everything's good. And then I paid at the hotel reservation place. Not all, but I paid a bit. I think like 20 euros or something, which is still a good bit of money. And then finally, I've been walking and walking. Finally, I made it to the hotel, and ironically, it was called Hotel Canada. And I got there, and I was so tired because I'd walked literally from one side of Venice to the other. And Venice isn't that big, although it's incredibly compact. But it was a maze. I got lost for 2 hours. My big backpack. Yeah. Anyways, I got there and they're like, what? There's no rooms left. Everywhere is already full and it's been taken. I'm like, well, here's my reservation papers. And he's like, sorry, no. And like, all the rooms have already been filled. And I'd already paid a bit. So I was like, oh, hell. That sucked. So then he was a nice guy. And because it was Hotel Canada and I was Canadian, and he's like, here, I'll help you. So we spent a good while. He sent me to every hotel in the area, like in the immediate area. Nothing was, like, either they were empty, closed, like shut down, or they were already fully booked. And I was just like, oh, God. And then he's like, I'd send you farther away, but, like, I can see you're tired. I was sweating. My hair's all pasty, like, all glued together with sweat. And I was so tired. I probably looked like a zombie, and probably still do. Probably look like I did on that one day I spent in Amsterdam. And anyways, yeah. So he pointed me in the direction of this street of hotels that was a good walk away. And finally I stumbled on it. I just went in the first hotel I found. It was big Hotel Scandinavia or something. And it looked incredibly fancy and incredibly expensive. I'm like, oh God, maybe I'll just spend one night in Venice because it'll be expensive. And like Hotel Canada was going to be incredibly expensive too. Like, it was supposed to be 60 euros per night, and I'd already paid part of it, and they were full. So I come here. This place is so much nicer than Hotel Canada. Wide staircases for one, and the door you don't have to take off your backpack and cram it through sideways to get in. Like, beautiful, beautiful place. Looks like 5-star, whereas Canada on the door it said 2-star. I came in, do you have a room? And then he's like, I don't know, I'll have to check. So he's looking, and on his chart of all the rooms, there was all these, it's just a bunch of boxes, and they're all marked. Then right at the very bottom, there was one box that wasn't marked, and he's like, we have one room for one person. And you can have it for 2 nights at 60 euros a night. I'm like, oh my God. So I ended up with a much better hotel for the exact same price. Look at this room. Doesn't look like much. It's small, but it has everything I need. And I was like, oh, I'm so hot, I need some fresh air. I went and I opened the window, and I'm just like, open the window and, oh look, it's actually a balcony. Hotel Canada had no balconies at all. And it's a tiny little, scrawny little balcony, but it overlooks this really nice square. And the big church and some dome thingy. And yeah, there's a dead plant. All the things you could possibly want for a hotel. It's kind of tight getting back into the room, but yeah. So I ended up with a better deal, and I'm gonna have to go back to the